Greetings, Britannia. I hope you are all well. It seems that our bonkers new government have already started to stick the knife into landlords throughout the country, with many of the previous ridiculous plans that were shelved have now been resuscitated and accelerated, and landlords throughout the country have now begun to run for cover. These include regulations on energy performance, minimum targets for energy performance by 2030, but more importantly, it is the actual laws applying to landlords and tenants that will be changed very, very soon, which will cause the most concern to landlords. And it seems that landlords throughout the country have already been considering selling their properties. So Labour is planning to ban Section 21s from day one. So there will be a total ban on no-fault evictions. You will not be able to recover your property through the Section 21 properties. Rachel Reeves has previously said on the record that she supports rental caps, which are another problem that landlords are going to face. And it doesn't normally work that way because landlords simply find alternative ways to do things. And the ones who lose out in the end are the tenants. They will also ban landlords from selling their properties in the first 2 years of a new tenancy, extending the current limit by 18 months. Currently, if you have a new tenant in the property, you're not allowed to sell the property for 6 months, which is not too much of a hardship because it can take a few months to sell a property anyway. But Labour plan to take this up to 2 years, which will seriously tie down and hinder some landlords who maybe, for whatever reason, may need to get out of their property. They'll force landlords to move in a family member for at least the first 2 years of a tenancy. Currently, they only have to wait 6 months. Yet more regulation. They love their regulation, don't they, Labour? And this is the concerning one. And this harks back to the Corbyn days. Do you remember what he was proposing in the 2019 election? Yes. Landlords could be forced to offer their property for sale to a tenant instead of evicting them. That is a roundabout way of giving tenants the right to buy your privately owned property. I really don't know what planet these people are on and how they think that they're going to get away with that, and how they will enforce it on the people in the UK, because this is absolutely ridiculous. This will be so destructive. And here's the next one. To apply a highly controversial hardship test, allowing courts to refuse a possession order if it will cause greater hardship to the tenant than the landlord. No surprise who usually benefits from that one. And also, they will abolish persistent rent arrears as a reason for eviction. This is currently used when a tenant falls into 2 months of arrears at least 3 times. So they are going to abolish that as a reason. That's currently used under Section 8. If you want to evict someone, if they fall into arrears of 2 months at least 3 times, after the 3rd time, you can apply under the Section 8 rules to have them evicted. That is also going to be abolished. So there's no prizes in guessing what all of this is likely to do for the housing supply. So really, this is, I'm afraid to say, absolutely catastrophic. And this is just the start of it. I mean, they've not even been in power for 5 days, and they have basically abolished certain laws that were put in place previously. For example, with illegal immigrants, once they were deemed to have arrived here illegally, they can never apply for asylum. That's been scrapped, so it's opened the doors for 52,000 people to apply for asylum. They are now going to allow trans women, i.e. surgically modified men, to use women's spaces. They've gone for the messing with the private rental market. Keir Starmer just abolished the Rwanda plan, and we know it was a gimmick, but it did have some effect, and there isn't anything better in place at the moment. There was really no reason for him to rush to abandon it, because he had everything to gain and nothing to lose. Because if no flights took off, he would have just been able to blame Rishi Sunak. But this is all further evidence that Keir Starmer is not a statesman. These people are not fit to be running our country, and those of you who voted them in, then I have a feeling that in a very short time you will be too embarrassed to admit that you elected these people in, and it won't be that long and it will all fall apart. But in the meantime, they are going to cause catastrophic damage to our country. I'll post a link below afterwards to the full article. If you have any questions about this or anything to do with property, as always, feel free to get in touch, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.